HAVAL H7 Hybrid is finally in Sydney, Australia, my friends, and I'm super excited to offer you this old format, probably you missed it from me, give me a quick like if you did, a video where I take the car for a test drive. Yes, this car was given to me by lovely people from Great Wall Motor Ride, GWM Ride, new management, very lovely attentive sales people, and I have found out a lot about this beautiful car, things such as the fact that this HAVAL H7 Hybrid is a front-wheel drive version, but they are looking to introduce all-wheel drive versions to the Australian shores, just not yet. We have only one version, this one, top of the range, available right now, so you should visit Great Wall Motor Ride if you want to find out more. I'm kind of excited. I'm just excited to be finally in this car, and I'm about to take you for a test drive where I will just drive and talk to you about how the car feels on the road.
This video is sponsored by our old friends Ottocast, creators of a whole lineup of products that are enabling wireless connectivity to your infotainment systems in your car, as long as those infotainment systems have wired Android Auto or wired Apple Carplay respectively. Connect your phone via Bluetooth and then, without connecting any wires, have access to Google Maps, podcasts, phone calls, whatever else, you name it. Watch some of the reviews of mine on Auto Gear Reviews, sister channel of Value Cars Australia, obviously, to find out more about Ottocast devices that we are very gladly promoting for a very long time. My wife is still using one. So thank you, Ottocast, for sponsoring this video.
Very nice quality of the turning camera, 360-degree camera, transparent body of the vehicle helps a little bit with that. Visibility is absolutely phenomenal, even just from these first few moments. I don't need to drive for 3 hours to be able to tell you that much. It is quite nice. Massive windows, a relatively narrow A-pillars here compared to the size of the window. So nothing is creaking. Suspension, especially the rear suspension, seems quite firm. So far, like there was a bump on the road, I could feel it. The seat, I'm gonna say the driver's seat as I drive is actually quite comfortable as well, but the visibility forward is fantastic. With this extra elevation of the seat and this good angle of the bonnet versus the verticality of the windscreen, I actually think visibility here is, I would almost say, is such a sense of relief, because after my Subaru, where everything is a bit more slopey, I sit lower, substantially lower. Right now, I feel like I'm sitting in Tank 300. I feel like I'm so high up, and it's such a wonderful thing for me. It's great, it's fantastic. I am still not a massive fan of HAVAL putting speedometer on the very left as relatively small digital kind of display here, and maybe there is a different theme perhaps. Again, it is to be explored, and I welcome your feedback in the comments below. However, one thing that I'm missing is a big massive speedometer and odometer. I really like how this hybrid feels. Whatever the transmission here is, it is soft. I don't feel any jerkiness. It's definitely very nice and smooth. Very nice and smooth. One thing I do notice, though, to be completely fair, is that if someone accidentally or on purpose left the headrest of the middle rear passenger seat up, then I don't have all that much rear view visibility, other than through the cameras, but I'm saying optical visibility. The mirror is large enough, I'm okay with the mirror, but I'd say that the window, the rear window, is really small, relatively small. And if there is also like an obstruction of a raised headrest in that passenger second row of seats, I can tell you, my friends, it blocks 30%, probably good 25 to 30% of the rear view. There is a barely noticeable roll back, unfortunately, from the static position if you're on a little bit of a hill, which makes me think that this must be not a normal hydraulic automatic transmission, but it must be some version of a DCT, dual clutch transmission. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not fact checking, I'm still doing my casual off-the-cuff review. Steering is very pleasant. Steering wheel is nothing to write home about, but I simply appreciate that it's not slopey, it's not cut off in any way. It is actually a normal, classic, round steering wheel. I love it. I hate all that fanciness that the companies now go with. I don't even know why they do it. I do think that this conveys that sense of ruggedness really, really beautifully. Like, really, really a big fan so far. Quite enjoy this drive so far, and we're only halfway through, my friends. So let's pull over and have a little bit more of a conversation about some of its features. Now, I don't know about you, my friends, but I actually like the look of this HAVAL H7. Yes, again, I have watched enough of the Russian videos, translated them for you, but I can tell you that when you're standing here right next to this vehicle, it does feel like just, I want it so much. I do. I will just drive straight to my main point. I think it offers the right kind of balance between being more of a city car than, let's say, Tank 300 is perhaps, but at the same time, it is definitely rugged, definitely high. In the test drive, I will tell you quite from the spot itself, like when I lifted the seat, you sit very high in it. It definitely gives the feeling of a proper off-road capable thing that can go a bit more with adventure. I love that they say a bit. I love that they say a bit. You know why I like that they say go with a bit more adventure? Because they're not pretending it to be a full-on off-road capable vehicle, and I love that cheeky little nudge. I don't know if it's deliberate marketing from GWM, but I see it, and I think you should see it too. I think it's freaking awesome. That's what I think, okay? I love what it looks like. I love kinda modern / aggressive look in the front, but not too aggressive, not too polarizing. I don't think it is going to polarize absolutely anyone. I think it's great. We have some protection of the paint from little chips and little stones and stuff. You know that I scuffed my own Subaru Outback a couple of times, even when I just went to IKEA here in Rhodes in Sydney. And these little extra kind of protective details, I think they're going to be great. I love the fact that the side mirrors, as I drove, I also noticed that side mirrors are actually quite large. They offer very, very decent visibility on the sides, like much more than I have expected. So that is gorgeous as well. On the inside, there are some elements that are giving it this off-roadiness and ruggedness. For example, a larger water bottle would come in here, kind of presuming that you're camping. And these bolts are sort of, it's nice. It's all nice. This is alloy. This is not plastic. Nothing is creaking. Plastic is, I would dare say, expensive. I would dare say it feels like expensive plastic. There is nothing wrong with this. I quite like the shape of these deflectors. This is a softish surface, by the way. See how my finger is kind of dipping a little bit? This is not plastic. This is actually a softish kind of thing. I like that there is a little shelf here. Basically, I'm just gushing, don't I? Like, I like everything about it. I didn't even expect to like it. Take a look at this extra storage over there where you can throw your wallet, whatever else you need. I was told, I haven't checked and tested properly the infotainment system, but I was told by the lovely sales assistant at Great Wall Motor Ride that this model supports both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto wirelessly. So, unfortunately for my other sponsors, you will not need a wireless adapter here. But that's all right, because you will still need some dash cameras or some other kind of stuff, and that is why you should still take a look in the description of the video for links and discounts, as always. This central panel, the whole central panel, is quite actually elevated. When I sit down in that seat, quite nicely, I don't feel sunken or anything, but when I sit there, my arm kind of just like elbow rests not just here, but over the whole thing. So this is actually lifted quite high up, but that feels very nicely. It feels quite ergonomic, I actually would dare say. Joystick here somehow I feel not as negative about as I felt in, let's say, Tank 300, because in Tank 300 somehow it felt protruding, massive, and here, if you can see from the surface level of this panel, it's actually sunken. It's a bit sunken, can you see? And I think this actually counts for something. This presumably is a wireless, I can't test it on this phone because it doesn't support wireless charging, my phone, it's a cheap one, but it's a wireless charging placement for one phone, that's cool. Nice little button that opens a fairly large bucket-based thing here, which is removable, and looks like this storage box is even coolable. As you can see, there is an exhaust for the cooling system. So you can actually, I wouldn't say it's a fridge, but I'd say you can keep things relatively cool here. Driver's position, once again, I said, is very, very comfortable. Probably the most comfortable that I've seen in a long time. All right, let's take a look at the passenger space, passenger seat here. They have done these little curtains here that are retractable curtains. As a car camper, I can tell you that built in already some kind of privacy slash sun protection layer here, the tinting, as well as this curtain that retracts like this, is beautiful, is so smart. It's going to, I know that it's not hard to add this stuff yourself, but when the company puts it in by default, I think this is worth a lot. There is plenty of space. Especially, I could not emphasize it enough just how much headroom I have. It is insane how much headroom is there. It's really, really nice. The only thing that I'm feeling right now is that the back, the cushion of the back of the seat itself is a little too upright, but I'm pretty sure we can experiment in real time here and try to lean it back a little bit, because I think it's a bit too upright. Like, I wouldn't feel comfortable, but there is this little lever that I can press and see it changes the angle. Oh yeah, that's better. That's much better. Now I'm definitely comfortable. I'm just extremely hot, that's why I'm red. It's not just my shirt. Panoramic sunroof is present here as well. I haven't opened it again because it's freaking hot. But it's a massive panoramic sunroof. It goes all the way from the passenger, from the driver, where the driver is, up to here, where I'm holding my hand. That's like a big cutout there. As long as you don't delude yourself, because it can fool you. You sit high, it looks rugged, you think it's an off-roader, but I honestly think that my Subaru Outback is more of an off-roader than this car. It's electrically powered tailgate, which is nice enough to see. The opening is not too disappointing, but neither it is too impressive. It's what you would expect from a car shaped this way. There is a curtain here, the luggage curtain available, which I think is somewhat useful sometimes, but I don't think that without having spare tires, you can simply account for all sorts of things that could happen with the car during serious off-roading in order for it to be considered to be an off-roader. So I don't think it's an off-roader, which is why, once again, this marketing slogan of go with a bit more adventure is fully justified. I like it. I do like it. Am I absolutely in love that I need to sell my Subaru right now? No, I suppose not. Or maybe it's not about love and more about common sense, because I don't want to lose money again in resale. But is it a solid vehicle from HAVAL that has a massive potential and justifies why its predecessor, HAVAL Dargo, was so insanely popular in Russia and other markets? I think I can see why. I can absolutely see why. This is a new and improved, wonderful version, and some electronic improvements are being made, obviously, with connectivity of your devices, for example. Still not a massive fan of the design, at least the default design of the main dash and main cluster. I would have preferred it to be a bit more standard slash classic, with the digitally based but looking like a proper speedometer or proper odometer front and center. I always beg Great Wall Motor for bringing that in. I like that there are physical buttons here as well as the digital cluster. I like the design of the ergonomics of the central panel. Positioning of the driver is beautiful, fantastic, especially massive compliments to Great Wall Motor for introducing the uplift of the driver's seat rather than just movement forward and back and a bit of a tilt of the angle. They allow you to lift yourself up literally, which for me goes a crazy long way. So yes, a massive fan, really, really like it. Thank you, Great Wall Motor GWM Ride, for giving me this car today for this test drive, and I highly recommend, if you're in Sydney area, wherever you are, go to your Great Wall Motor dealer, local dealer, take the car for a spin, see what you think. And I appreciate your patronage as always. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you next week about something else value cars related in Australia mainly and beyond. Goodbye for now.